We are exposing the truth on Rebecca's not one, not two, but three previous divorces before she even met Ziad. So let's not waste any time and uncover this truth. Alright, y'all, this is just hilarious. I freaking love this. Rebecca has not been married once, twice, now three, and spoiler alert, but she has now been married 4 times. Because if you don't already know, she did actually marry Ziad. So she's been married 4 freaking times, which means she's had 3 previous divorces. And you're probably wondering, who? Because she's talked about one of them, the Moroccan ex, who is constantly compared to Ziad, so more on him in a minute. He is her 3rd marriage, but she had 2 previously. And the number one, the first guy, his name is Shelby. There is him right there, Shelby Taylor. He is from Louisiana. It appears because he's wearing a Louisiana shirt in literally every single picture on his Facebook. And I know, I hate to kind of stalk him and be a creep, but I did find his Facebook, and yeah, he's always wearing Louisiana shirts. He did remarry, it appears. I mean, he for sure, not even appears, he for sure remarried. My question on the appears is, was it once or twice? Because he is like with these different women, like I don't know if the girl just got a different haircut or what, but I believe it was the same person that he's been with since his divorce with Rebecca. But I could be wrong, it could be separate, but I believe it's the same one. But either way, that's him. He was married to Rebecca from like 1991 to 2006. So what is that, 15-ish years? I don't know, my math has got off. I think that's 15 years, I think. But they're married for quite a while, and they had the 3 kids. Rebecca has the daughter Tiffany. We've seen her all the freaking time. She actually married a guy named Micah, and she's like my age. She's like 22 or 23. So I guess getting married young in the family, you know, it stays in the family, because the daughter did it too, but she is still married, no divorces, hopefully not anytime soon. And then the son did the exact same thing. Now, I don't know that there's a 3rd child. I do not know this. I don't even know if it's a man or woman, but they have not been on the show at all. But we do know, we saw the other son. He's married with kids, and that's when, you know, the Ziad was like Papa, you know, Grandpa Ziad, because Rebecca's son actually has kids, and that makes Rebecca a grandma, and now Ziad apparently a grandpa. So either way, they had the kids together. Apparently, they had a long, lengthy, god-awful, horrible divorce, and it was this crazy custody battle. I don't know what Rebecca was doing financially back then, but it sounds like she couldn't even get custody. I don't know why. I don't know who. I don't know if she has more in her past that we have not heard, but it sounds like her attempt to get custody was very difficult, and she ended up having to pay child support. And I even heard that I don't know how true this is, but I've even heard that she was even struggling to pay it at times. So that just freaking sucks. I don't know what was going on. We do know that Rebecca has had crazy financial issues for the past however many years, because she keeps doing all this dumb crap. So I don't know what she was doing then. We do know she was a private investigator for some time, but I feel like that was more later on. But they were married from 1991 to 2006, and then in 2009, she stumbled upon a new man. This man, there is literally nothing on this guy online. There is nothing about his name, nothing about his picture. All we know is from 2009 to 2013, roughly, she was with this man. So still quite, not you know, 15 years, but still a decent amount of time. The marriage didn't last for like a month or anything, but we don't know anything about him. I assumed he was from Georgia, because she was still living in that same town. Kind of the hilarious thing is Rebecca's still in the same town, and her first ex, Shelby, he's living in that same town too, according to his Facebook. So they're also kind of in the same town. I'm sure she runs into him all the freaking time. But the second ex-husband, I have no idea. There's literally nothing on the guy, besides the fact that the marriage was from 2009 to 2013. That's all we know. But we do know that just a few weeks after her divorce finalized, she ended up marrying her new, now 3rd ex, who was from Morocco. And he is the man that is constantly compared to Ziad. And their love story is just like, it just makes you want to sit down with Rebecca and say, Rebecca, please so help me God, why are you so gullible? But she claims that this man reached out to her. He was significantly younger than her, even, believe it or not, younger than Ziad. And Ziad's like 27. Rebecca, I think, is like 49, maybe even 50. So this guy was even younger than that, which is kind of honestly borderline creepy. I'm not one to judge for age gaps, but, you know, geez, I mean, what was he? Well, I mean, that's like, you know, like a 25-year, 26-year age gap. Kind of pushing it, but either way, they met. He reached out to her and said, I need someone in America that can help me teach me English. Why Rebecca fell for that, I have no idea, but she fell for it. He was charming, he was sweet, and this is why I always say, Rebecca's a freaking hopeless romantic, and we see it all the time when she's with Ziad, but he was all sweet. They ended up getting married, then he came over to the US, and believe it or not, they were actually married for like 4 or 5 years. I think they got married in 2013, and they got divorced in like 2018. She saw it on 90 Day Fiancé. Their divorce divorce wasn't even finalized when she first came on 90 Day Fiancé, but it was technically, the papers were submitted, kind of a stupid deal, but it wasn't really finalized. So it was still like a 5-year-ish marriage. And if you're wondering, well, why did that one not work? And we do know he was cheating on her, because at that point she was a private investigator, and she was supposedly following him around, and he was dating a bunch of girls his own age. Now, I never, ever condone cheating. Ever. This guy sounds like a complete clown, not a fan of him at all, but I will say, Rebecca, I don't want to say I told you so, but it's kind of like, why did you ever think this was ever going to ever work in a million years ever? And now she's starting to finally realize, oh, he probably didn't even need someone to teach him English. He probably just wanted to come to America, and that's exactly what the guy did. So she completely got used, and Rebecca is a freaking hopeless romantic. So she has not been married once, not twice, but 3 times. And the sad thing is, for sure the first marriage hurt her financially, but the third one, I don't know about the second one, but the third one, for sure, she still talks about it. It really killed her financially. She was paying for all this stuff to get him here. There was a bunch of crap went on, and now she even says, still to this day, she's still recovering from it. So it's like, once again, Rebecca, why? But, after these 3 failed marriages, she's still going at it, because like I said at the beginning of the video, spoiler alert, she marries Ziad. Now, they, I guess, kind of have they do have some synergy, I will say, but there's things in the back of her, there's things in the back of my head, maybe not hers, but the kid, because I can guarantee y'all one thing for sure. Ziad's gonna want to have kids. I can freaking guarantee it. Eventually, the guy's young, he likes kids, I'm positive. Eventually, at some time, he will want to have kids of his own, without a doubt. So I'm watching this thinking, okay, there's already kind of some red flags. Ziad also has not had a job like ever. Maybe he will go and maybe he won't get one. And it's like, there's a bunch of red flags. There's a handful of red flags. And my thought process is, if there's even a smidge of a red flag, why would you get married for the 4th time? I mean, I could see, okay, you get married once, you get married twice, that's not great, but it happens all the time. And then the 3rd time, now the 3rd wedding, I could see, well, you could kind of think about it, and maybe if you really knew and you were certain, yeah, I love this person, I want to marry this person, a 3rd marriage is sometimes, okay, I get it, but a 4th? I mean, I don't know anyone, literally anyone, unless they're like some old, rich guy that's been married 4 times. Who has been married 4 freaking times? And I hate to even go there and say this, but it sounds like Rebecca and Ziad are still married. However, you gotta remember, her 3rd marriage and her, honestly, 2nd and the 1st one, they all lasted for over 3, 4, 5 years. So Rebecca and Ziad, give them a couple years. I don't mean to wish them any ill harm, but it's like, I mean, it's only been, a year since they got married? There's a lot of time to progress, and I'm not saying it's not gonna work, but I am saying it's still very soon. So comment below what you think of Rebecca. I hate to call her an idiot, but I kind of want to say, well, she's kind of a freaking idiot. Who gets married 4 times? And if you've been married 4 times, I'm sorry, but why? 4 freaking times just seems kind of ridiculous, seems kind of much. But either way, maybe Ziad is her soulmate, maybe they'll, be happily ever after. And if you're wondering, yes, we did get to see a little sneak peek of the new episode of 90 Day Fiancé, and it's looking pretty good. I have a couple questions I'm curious what y'all think on. Honestly, we see Rebecca and Ziad, they're fighting about Ramadan now. Fantastic. They're constantly fighting. I don't even really freaking care. The issue is, Ziad wants to get married before a certain date, and like I already said, spoiler alert, we already know they get married, so who even freaking cares? That's not that big of a deal. The thing I am curious though, I'm curious what y'all think on, is Natalie and Mike, because they have been fighting all freaking season long. She now has 19 days left. We got to see in this sneak peek, and my question for y'all is, what happens? Because in the sneak peek, Natalie basically just said, look, I need to get my ring right now so we can get married. Now the pandemic is spreading because this was filmed last March, so that was going crazy. She was, I don't even have my ring back, and there's literally 18, 19 days till we have to get married. So she's freaking out, she's hysterical, and Mike literally says, I'm still not ready. So at this point, honestly, you should be buying her a flight back home and she should leave. But for some reason, he's still like, well, let's see where it goes. And I kind of feel like Mike is being a jerk, because Mike, I feel like, is like, well, I don't want to marry her because Natalie's clearly crazy. So I feel like he's kind of like, well, let's just let it ride out. And then probably in the last minute, he'll just say, okay, but you should probably go home because we can't get married now. That's what I feel like Mike is going to try to do. But I'm so curious, what do you guys think? Because they have 18 days left. He still hasn't given her a ring yet. Now the pandemic is in full effect. How are they going to get married? but the crazy thing is, I've heard a rumor, so spoiler alert, but I heard a rumor that they do actually get married. So my question is, how? Like, how on earth does that happen? I just don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. With the pandemic and the courts being open and everything, I just can't even think of a guess. It looks like in a spoiler, now he's gonna leave, then she comes back, so I just don't have any idea. I hope to God we're coming to the end of this season pretty soon, but it looks like they do get married. But then we also get to see Stephanie. She's with Harris. I'm actually kind of curious how that goes down if they do a little something. For sure what happens, honestly, is Harris comes, he stays for a couple nights, they do God knows what, then she goes back to Michigan, and she probably never talks to the guy ever again, if I had to guess. And then we do get to see Yara and Jovi, and it sounds like Yara finally invites Jovi's mom, who seems like the sweetest lady in the whole freaking world, to actually come to the wedding in Vegas. But I'm still curious, with the pandemic, with everything, does that affect the marriage, does that affect the wedding? Because I don't know the date of, Yara and Jovi's wedding, so I don't know if they're still going to be able to go to Vegas and get married, or if that was before or after, not really sure. And then the other interesting thing too is Brandon and Julia. And this kind of goes to show that Julia kind of does have a spicier side, kind of a, not a rude side, but kind of a rude side, because now, same thing, the pandemic's in full effect, she wants to get married in a church, and there's like a legitimate possibility that churches might not be open, which I think that's what ends up happening in most, around the whole country, is that most churches did close in that time frame. And so Julia was like freaking mad, but it's like, I get it, it's her wedding, but still, it's a third, I mean, it's not like it's like Brandon, it's not like Brandon's mom closed the church, it's a third crazy thing, it's a third, out of the realm of possibility, this pandemic, and it's like, it wasn't like, someone that we just randomly, made the thing, it's a random crazy thing, it's out of our control, and there's nothing any of us can do. So she was kind of mad, but I was kind of like, Julia, you should kind of understand, but I get it, it's her wedding, so I don't want to complain too much, but still, it's like, geez, who is she getting mad at? But either way, 90 Day Fiancé, Rebecca, oh my God, I'm telling y'all, we're gonna have to come back to this video in like 2 or 3 years, and I'm probably gonna say I told y'all. So I think Rebecca and Ziad are gonna make it about 5 to 6, maybe 5 to 8 years. But once Ziad gets in those prime baby, wanting stages, like, for him might be like, 35, 34, 35, 36, he's gonna want a family, he's gonna want to settle down. And Rebecca literally, physically cannot give him that. She can't give him kids. So there you go. It probably ain't gonna work. But comment below what y'all think. I am so freaking curious what y'all have to say. Well, guys, 90 Day Fiancé, oh my God. And also, before I sign off for the day, I just want to really quick say, I hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I, number one, can't believe it. I just am at a loss of words. I don't even know what to say besides just I'll blurt it out. Thank you. This channel just changed my life forever in so many ways. Making these videos makes me so happy. Meeting all you guys and just everything. I mean, it's just been the most unbelievable, probably one of the most unbelievable times in my entire life for the positive. So I just want to say thank you. I love you guys. This means the world to me, and this could not happen without you guys. So hitting 100,000 subscribers is unbelievable. It's awesome, and I can't even put the words together to say thank you. So thank you guys all so much. I love you guys, and hey, if you haven't already subscribed on YouTube or Facebook, scroll on this video and hit that subscribe button. Well, alright guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit the comments below, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.